Hey everybody, it's Matthew of Mr. Domestic, where we spread joy and positivity through sewing and fabric play. In this video, I am going to show you how to make something very bananas. A fabric advent tree topper. What? This is 16 inches by 16 inches of awesome. It's going to look amazing. I just use one of the cannolis and stick it on top of the tree and we are good to go. So if you want to learn how to make this next level keepsake heirloom conversation starter awesome sauce thing, then before we get into the content, anytime you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Now let's get ready to have some fun together. So for the Fabric Advent Star Tree Topper, there are steps in this, so I'm eliminating some of them in the video that are more commonsensical. And then the supplies, I'm only going to speak to them as I go, but there will be a full list of supplies in the description of this video and on my blog. So first thing that's up, I've already prepped these strips and I have 9 width of fabric strips with a heavy-duty interfacing. It's a non-woven interfacing. This is the kind that I used. Heat and bond fusible, iron-on. For those who have never used fusible before, there's one side that's tacky, and then you put the fabric on top of it. So I cut the strips and then fused them all. So they are ready to go. For mine, I have 6 of this, and then 3 of this, just to give it some dimension and variety. And then, with each of these, before you get to your sewing machine, you need to prep it like this. See? It's kind of similar to prepping fabric strips for weaving, since this is technically fabric weaving too. And I ironed this. I don't iron it like this, because I kind of just cheat when I sew. And so now I'm going to take you over to Alfonso and show you how I sew this. Okay, so now I'm over to Alfonso. I have this strip right here, and essentially I'm just going to fold it as I go. I find this much easier, and then I'll just press it afterwards. I have my edge stitch on. If you've never used an edge stitch, I'm not able to ever get it like right there, so I move it over 3. The width is 2 millimeters as opposed to 3 millimeters, so I went that way 3 times. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry about the edge stitch. Try and make it like, I don't know, a little bit inside of the edge, and then just stitch. And I have a regular foot on. I have a wonderful Ultima thread in the bobbin and on the top, and then just go to town. And so I'm gonna stitch this one side up. And I'll fast forward, but essentially I'm gonna stitch all the way on this side, flip it around, go on this side. So I'm fast forwarding now. Okay, now I am finished with the stitching. Let's just check it out. Go ahead, judge those stitches. Those are pretty amazing! And I didn't skip any stitches. That's what I was looking for, to see if I skipped stitches. Because if I did, then I definitely need to use a denim needle. But nope, Universal is working here. So now I'm going to stitch the other 8 with the fabric strips, just like this. And then we'll go back to my table. See you soon. Okay, now it is time to get our weave on, and these are the things that you are going to need. I have 1 set of strips that I've made. You need 2 sets of this, so you'll need a total of, how many? What is this? 18 plus 18 is 36. You'll need a total of 36 strips. But this is 18 here. Then I was able to get 2 16-inch strips out of each width of fabric strips. And yes, there's extra, and I'm totally going to make an ornament. I'll figure something out. So follow me on Instagram if you're not. And this is going to be for here. I have some pins. I have my 1-inch wefty that I'm going to use. Fabric Fuse, which is my favorite glue. And then I have some mini clips. So this is all you need for now. I'm just going to focus on this section right here. Let me move this where it's center and get going. And the layout, I'm going to have one of these in the center. And since you have the same thread on the bobbin, it doesn't matter which one goes where. And this is still going to be kind of an estimate. because I'm going to lay it on top of this line. It seemed easiest to find the center line that way. And then to find the center, pinched it. And you only have to do this on one because then after that you can just follow it. And put that right here. And then I'm going to pin it. Boom. Boom. And boom. Boom. You definitely want to make sure that these are equal distance, equidistance from the center line. And that's how I'm going to start it out. And I'm just going to move it over because it doesn't look like it's totally center. There we go. See how it's center in between these two? You can ballpark it, just make sure that it's pretty close. Okay, one more, and this one right here. Right there. One more. Pin, and I'm just going to pin them like so. So I'm going to fast forward as I do this first layer. So now I have this pin. This is the first layer, and these are going to be woven into here in the same order, and it's going to be a traditional basket weave of over, under, and this will definitely help. I'm using the larger one just because this is thicker. It's a thicker strip and it'll fit in better. If you wanted to, you can go above it. And then one thing I do want to do, just pinch that middle so that you can have an idea, and that pinch will stay. If you wanted to, I just happen to have this here, like a friction pen, and mark the center. Right now you can see it. And then using my wefty, you don't have to have a wefty for this, but it will help, definitely. Like that. See, we went over, under, like that. And then there is the middle, because we marked it. And just put that in between these two lines on the center line and this right here, and then pin this. And then with these fabric keepsake ornaments, I like to glue. I'm not stingy with the glue. And this glue, the fabric fuse, I found is awesome and easy. So I will glue every single intersection, just a little bit, to keep it in place. Let me stick a needle in, boink, 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 to get it working. Okay. A little bit of glue, like that. And this is how I glue. I just go back and forth, over, under, like that. And then I am going to pin this in place so that it doesn't move, right here. And now I'm going to pin every other intersection just right here on the corner, just to keep this in place, because you don't want it to move around as you're weaving. And why I'm being so precise with this, or more precise than I normally am, is because essentially this is doing two things. One, the strips are thicker, so you need more room to weave. And then two, this is a little trick that I did with my last one, is that when you put this on top of your tree, you can shove some of the lights in it, and then you'll be able to see the light through the holes that you're creating in the grid, and it looks super duper awesome. So, yay! And now this one, I'll weave one more in real time. This one, and this one on either side of the center is going to go opposite. So this one started over, so this one's going to go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And see how you can see those that I haven't pinned yet? They're shifting. This next set of pins that I put in, because I put them in these, I'm going to alternate. I always do it when this one's on top. I don't know why I started doing that, but that helps, and then they won't move anymore. So you will probably have to reposition some of them just to get them even. And if you want to put more pins in, feel free to do so. And then, now that I've done this, I'm going to pin this on the end. Make sure that it is good on the line. See the line there. Yeah, I'm being if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm being way finicky on this. One, it's a tree topper, and then two, it's like, oh, this extra finickiness. Finickiness, is that a word? It makes a difference for this. This is like one of those treasured keepsakes that can be like passed down for like generations and forever. And like in the future, whenever it's Terminator style, like all that kind of stuff, like this will still survive. I'm such a hot mess. And then I'm going to glue in between. Let me just show you where. See right here, I'm going to pin right here. And then I am going to fast forward through the rest of this weaving. So through the magic of video editing, this is dried per the instructions on the bottle. And this is all I did. I did one of them. And then after I do this next part, then I do this one. I've always done it that way. I think I just get tired like at this point. And so now I'm just going to remove all of these pins like this. I'll speed it up just because pin removal and fast forward is fun. Okay, so yay! Now it is time to create what I like to call the cannolis, because that's exactly what they look like to me. They look like cannolis. I can't think of any other thing that they resemble. And there is going to be some weaving with the cannolis. So I'm going to do one corner for you to see. And it's the same on all four of these, and then the four on the other one with these strips. So I am going to curve this. Add some glue. And then like this. Open my clips. Where are my clips? There you go. And then clip it. Right, so there we go with one. This one is done. This one is done. Then now it's going to be these two. See how this one was on top right here? This next one I'm going to put underneath. And since I have about 1/4 of an inch square there, I'm going to estimate 1/4 of an inch here. So that one is under. See how it went over and then under. And then this one is going to be woven in. And since this one is over here, this one will go like this. See? So it's starting to create a traditional basket weave, just like we did in the center. But you're going to do this with the cannoli. It's a funny cannoli. So enjoy making your cannolis. It's a low-carb version of cannolis. And then this next one, we're going to weave. So you see that this one is over. So I'm going to grab this one, and it's going to go under and then over. So it's always going to alternate. Right here. And I'm adding some glue, trying to get that 1/4 inch gridness going on. And yes, I am color coordinating the clips. I'm probably going to run out, but at least on this one, it's going to be nice. And then this one right here, the opposite. See how this one's over? Now I'm going to go under, over, under, right here. And it's starting to create that structural cannoli. It's going to hold this shape. So let me get that. Estimate this right here. And try to get this strip as flush to the edge as possible. It looks crisp, but I'm gonna go ahead and glue that one because it just looked like it wanted to be glued. Right there. And the glue dries clear, so if there's excess, don't sweat it. Then there's one more, and this is the final one for the cannoli. So this one's over. So I'm gonna go under and then over like this. Then a dollop a day keeps a doctor. I don't know what that is. All of the memories of my life are like mushy in my head and they come out. I don't know what it is. And then one more. This one, right? So this one's over. And this is essentially going to pull it up like this. It was resting. This final one gets it all up. Put some glue right here. Right there. So this one, you gotta pull on it a little bit. Because the cannoli is formed, and this is where you need to make sure all of the strips are at the same tension, and then it will not lay flat, but it'll be symmetrical on both sides of the cannoli. And then these exterior ones, like especially this one, I'm going to glue right there. Just to keep that there. Clean that up a little bit. That looks pretty good right there. Ta-da! And then I am going to just go ahead and put a little bit at all of these outer intersections just to make this more durable. And at the same time, you can pull the tautness. There you go. So cannoli 1! And now we're going to go ahead and do the others. I'm going to fast forward, so if you need to see this again in real time, then rewind and start again, but I'm going to fast forward, but you can still see the creation. So, time lapse, and we are done with both of them. This one and this one. The only thing left to do is to connect them. I left these down just to let them dry. I don't know why I did that. I just did. And then this is the fun part, because now the two pieces are going to get married. So we have two, right? And ta-da! Now they are going to smooch forever. And you stick this part, this one dangly, inside of the cannolis. So each dangly goes inside the cannoli like this. See? And then even these on the other one go inside the cannoli. Boom, boom, boom. So there's 8 dangly things, 8 cannolis that you need to fill. And then once it's filled, you're going to use some fabric glue. And for the final time, you're going to let it dry. And this is where you can make some choices. Do you extend this out to fit here, or do you let it go in its natural state? So I'm going to allow it to go into its natural state and then just pin it or clip it here and then trim off the excess, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So with this one, I'm not going to be chinchy on the glue. I'm going to use a lot of glue because there's 1 point per cannoli. And then there you go. Let me get my clips ready. Got to color coordinate, so of course I'm using the aqua. And then clip. Ta-da! And then right here, see how there's excess? I'm going to trim this one on the corner. Oh, don't cut the clip. That won't work. It's probably best to wait and let it dry first, but I'm already videoing, so ta-da! See there, and then that's what it looks like on the other side. It just looks cleaner there, and I am going to glue the rest of them. And then that's the end of the video, so I'll fast forward while I'm gluing. You can watch it, and then I'll come back and talk to you. So yay! We have finished the tree topper. This is amazing. I am so excited. One final thing that I'm going to do once it dries is I'm going to spray it with some fabric glitter, because glitter makes everything better. This is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see it on top of my tree. So yeah, this is a number of steps, but look at this final product. It is totally worth it. I know y'all are as excited as I am. I'm giddy as a goose. Because goose are giddy. So, I don't know if you enjoyed this video, got a laugh or a tip or a trick or two, then make sure to give it the thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Keep it positive, y'all. Mr. Domestic out.